Hi. So this before over. Let's do a weird video on the differences. I've seen a lot of videos around lately about mimics. So you hear something outside of your window or door, it sounds like someone you care about, which could be as well, but it could be something tricking you, deceiving you, and not them, whether or not they hear it. Mimics are scary. If they consume something and trap it inside of them, they look like a chest with wings. They can become that. But I have been thinking about the explicit difference between mimics and jinn, spelled with a D, which is kind of interesting, because from my reading experience of jinn, they're kind of different, interesting. They're quite evil creatures. The less evil they are, the quicker, the more on top of the pile they go before they get out. But those beings, like from some alleged one-day stories, they might be at like a servo, and then I'll crush two people between a trailer and trick it by stealing this or that and causing chaos, and then they'll literally like cut someone's fucking face off, and they'll use some weird serum shit to turn them into plastic and turn them into fucking sex toys and switch people's faces out and body parts. Kind of like some things I've been seeing about people saying about the Fae do, but a lot of those stories, some of them sound Fae, but a lot of them also do sound Jinn-like instead as well. It's kind of interesting, those are kind of scary. But yeah. Mimics are scary, but I would always be aware of that, especially if there's a lot of stories going around about this and this or that being here, here, and here, and here, here, and stuff, because they can quite easily be mistaken, and one is a lot fucking worse. Which is kind of interesting. Some of these beings will try to turn you into a fucking sex toy, or some of them, like I've known people who try to turn people into a robot, but some of these will wear your brother's face and try to turn these people into a robot and claim they've been a robot by replacing their pieces one by one and say they were that the whole time. Funny or interesting enough. They can be quite evil, hard beings. Like they're kind of an incarnate of pure evil. I'm not going to do this on them, but anyway, so we have a family in a small town taking Kiev and going the way, following the stars away. They have swords to cover the holes in the bottom of their boats. So in this thing, it looks like there's holes in the bottom of their boats, like random boats and hole phenomenon that causes so that bad situations in areas. But instead of covering it with a thing or covering it with their foot, they just got a bunch of swords to stab us straight in the holes when they appear. It's kind of interesting. Okay, we have 3 people sitting at the rainbow, facing in other directions, with a rainbow standing between them. It's kind of interesting. Sitting in a place of fruition, guarding what one has earned and trusted. Okay, so someone taking some weapons or leaving some behind. So someone's going to take some mental distress or badness that's happened in the past and leave some behind into the future and go with this or that. I don't have much charge for this video yet. Okay, and then we have the devil. It's kind of interesting. We have, obviously the original evil, and the horrid beings and this or that. And then we have beings who may be considered more evil, but it's very hard to try to get up there. And it's got this lady with this thing, the devil, like, some devils have curly hair and white ashen braided hair or white ashen hair. Some don't. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so magic eggs. Beginning something is exciting. So we got the new beginning of a chapter or situation in something. My weird drunken videos that don't make sense, but I really just started this on a rant based on a thought about these evil creatures stealing people's faces and stealing body parts. Jinn are known to steal the strength of others, not through the magic that they possess, but doing this or that. Like, some people try their best to trap them in bottles and genies. You've seen the genies on like the genie movie and the lamp and stuff, and they kind of like are give me 3 wishes and this or that. But they're going to corrupt you, and they're going to try to get everyone to let you out. Like most of the genies in the movie are jinn, caught in lamps, lampshades, and bottles, and they're quite evil and quite wicked, and they're going to try to let you get out, but they're actually very, very evil beings, 9 times out of 10 usually. Um, and yeah, if you've seen the original Aladdin movie, it goes quite differently to the original one. Like, if you've seen the original Aladdin movie, you could understand it differently. I can't really remember how particular it goes differently, but there was definitely a jinn involved in that who gets let out, and they trick it out, and pretty sure at the original movie before the jinn version was disappeared, Aladdin owned the store and this or that, and all these different things, and Princess Jasmine was actually his sister before the jinn situation occurred, and there's a lot of misconceptions around that. I can't really remember it all. There was like the whole being falling into the coins, being surrounded by the riches, and this or that before going to a street boy. And yeah, these beings are very, very tricky, and they'll do horrid things and let you out in horrible situations. Okay, so we have a thought, and we have a caring connection to the chest, relating to the heartbeat of a mother and a child, the saying that no matter where or what your child is, the heartbeat of the mother, even if they were in the situation switched out, the mother will always have the right heartbeat to make her child go like quiet and get peaceful and go kind of sleepy. You know, the heartbeat of a mother will always calm a child. It sounds like the heartbeat of a mother, which is kind of interesting. You know, I've heard some people in relation to the jinn story say that jinn apparently means aboriginal, but that is not true. Some people will make up stories and say it's like a person of colour, but that is definitely not true. You know, and some people's stories of people saying fairies do this or that, and fairies and fae in their origins can be quite wicked creatures, and they steal the innocence, they steal this or that, as well as body parts, but some of these stories about fae traits I've been hearing also, online people do quite match up with jinn as well. I'm not saying this because fairies in their origin were quite dark, horrid creatures as well. Okay, so we have a path, the opposite of success. Someone chooses a path of being like a less successful person, and they will take time to rekindle and tickle in your hand. So yeah, onto the other point with these beings. Like, you might hear something in the background, it sounds like someone you know or care about, it sounds like someone around, it sounds like someone that will remind you of something or someone, and you'll hear it there, and it's just trying to get you out, or lure you out and trick you, like mimics to eat you, or jinn to make you just feel this random pain in your legs or your butt or somewhere where they steal these things from you in the tradition, which is quite horrid and evil. Those are very, very evil creatures who had to be locked away in a bad place, and if, you know, someone lets one of them that wasn't locked away, that was locked in a lamp out, and they are quite bad, as most of them are, there's a chance they're going to all try and find a way to let the rest out. As well, they might take what you have and tempt you with what you used to possess, and use it to trick you into opening another bottle or freeing it. Like certain magics, certain people might associate, even if magic you might possess it, actually you might not, and they associate magic with doing this, or this, so they're like, yeah, go like this, pick the bottle up, and go like, Hodge, open the lamp, and then some of the invocations are things to get back what they didn't actually lose. Someone stealing from them, or tricking them into thinking they don't lose, or making them attack people, is, you know, they're making them go, huh, picking up a lamp, and they're making them go like, maybe this, or maybe together like this, and they're trying to make you let them out of the lamp. Some yoga practices even practice this as like a trick from the ones who let out, because they can't actually let each other out of the lamps, and they don't realize it's there. Sometimes it's not. Vain or vanity over truth and trust. Who knows? So the opposite of a wish. An undone wish, a wish that was never made. It's kind of interesting. It's sad, because in the Aladdin movie you'd like to think he's a good person, a good genie. But I specifically remember that, like, in the original Little Mermaid, it ended with her dying and turning into foam and doing good actions and being a better person than killing someone else. And the original Aladdin movie, unfortunately, was quite hard and evil as well. I believe he only had one hand in that movie, and they were tempted with the treasure and riches, and someone lost. And I'm pretty sure at the start of the movie, when everything changed and the time change happened with it, Jasmine was actually his sister. Aladdin and Jasmine were sisters, and all this horrible shit happened. I can't really specifically remember it, but they tempted them with riches, they tempted them with this, and they tempted them with that. Someone's going to get some all-around attention from this reading. Someone is going to lose relationships or connections and go into solitude and reevaluate things about or around them. And it's about reflection. Someone's not going to reflect, they're just going to look. Someone's not going to reflect on the past so much as past. I said past. Someone's not going to reflect on the past so much as to look on the present. Add all around attention to someone or something or a situation, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. The pain someone has been feeling in these situations. So yes, be very wary if you think you have gifts and intuition. A lot of us do, a lot of us might. They might have stolen it, they might be trying to get it back, and they might be trying to trick you into opening their bottles in which the jinns or genies were trapped in. So like, let's take for example or instance maybe popular TV show Scarlet Witch. Look at that. She gets the powers, she doesn't get the powers. This red energy starts to appear, which is funny because jinn are traditionally red as well. And when she goes like this, they gotta go like this at the side, and then she goes like this and this, which is throwing it away, but then she goes like this and this, which is like she could be holding it there on top, it could have been placed on top of her hands, and they're trying to get it to open as well. Maybe that, maybe not. I've just like had some notices on that. Okay, so let's see. Past lesson. Someone has learned a past lesson that's helping them guide and get this in the future, and someone may be learning a lesson at present. Something that was kept in secret, which is going to soon now come and be revealed. A toxic relationship that is healed from the past, or someone's been trapped by a toxic relationship leading them towards something. A rejection in reverse, or something when it's a rejection in reverse, someone's no longer going to reject something. Getting stabbed through the hand, so someone getting stabbed through the hand, which some people might say, oh, this witch is using power, so stab her through the hand so she can't use her power. Traditionally, someone might bind the eyes or the tongue or the lips so like a witch can't speak, or like bind the fingers together so they can't point with a single finger and point direct energy. But I don't think it was ever a thing about them getting stabbed through the hands. That's really just so that they can't move properly to defend themselves as well. Like maybe here, a little cut here on the hand. Something could be a jinn and it's trying to be like, oh, maybe you're a fox person, and I'm going to steal your muscles because you're actually a fox, so that I have fox-like reflexes, which is definitely a thing. A prophetic past. Someone comes from a path of prophecy. This could even be a prophet in the Bible, which I know is in relation to females as to videos I've been watching. A great injustice has been done or set upon people, certain people, 3, 2, 1, 4, there's usually 5. And imposter syndrome, people thinking they're who they're not, a lot of people going around thinking they're each other. You know, I've heard how bad that kind of chaos can be, like one person thinks of this person, one person thinks of this person, one person thinks of this person, and they're all pulling each other's hair, thinking that this person's pulling, thinking that that person's pulling their hair, but this person's pulling their hair in a weird chaotic chain, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, but you know, a lot of things you can easily steal, like you've got the cuts there on the hand, someone could be trying to steal the veins, someone could be trying to steal the wrists, the best wrist movements, this or that, like the muscles, you know, I don't know, there's a lot of evil creatures that could do that as well, but thinking about the ones I've had impression of mine, but this is kind of interesting. Like funny enough, did you know in certain movies like Across, I've heard some of the things they did, they sired the other ones into witches, yes, but they also may have invoked a bunch of things. So when they get the thing, do this and you'll be able to change your hair color, they could have been invoking an evil thing like a jinn, or it could also be, I've heard the rumor that someone said this to me, I don't know if it's true, about whores being able to change their hair color. So it could be that when the witches do this, they're invoking the spirit of Babylon in order to change their hair color, and they don't realize how bad that is, which could be when some of the fighting and some of them all thinking each other is evil also starts. And you've got to remember, these are all newborns too. Everyone but the witch, the actual one who was born a witch, who did the spell with them inside them. All the other three were newborns. Let's see. Something about a love. You are the only champion you need. Someone is the only champion they need, and I don't think they see or realize it. And you've got this. Someone got this. Someone gonna find this. Someone gonna got this. Hold on, before my phone battery runs out. I had a little bit to drink tonight. Kind of cool, kind of interesting. Sorry, I love playing that thing. It's probably the most interesting thing anyone who does or doesn't watch this is supposed to hear. A lot of people, especially I just noticed today, I somehow got some less of viewers and stuff and subscribers, but yeah. Okay, so we have a Celestial, a Master of the Hunt, and a Morrigan. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if you've heard this, but there were some common rumors about the reason the Morrigan was actually kicked out of town and the townsfolk was because she was a female who was born with female breasts and a penis. Funny enough, her or her child was actually said to be born with, like, female upper body and male lower body as well. Something she was said to be born with. Which is one of the reasons they rejected her and called her strange or different or a witch and kicked her out of the townsfolk. I've also heard a lot of rumors saying apparently there were dead bodies in the waterways and wells, and people had been drinking bodies and waters, and that everyone was a Wendigo, and that like she turns on her sisters and kills them because they're all evil. But I don't know if any of that's true. I've also heard rumors saying that golden energy she does around her is her wings, but I don't know if that's true or not. It could be bullshit, because I've also heard rumors that Merlins are... I've seen online Merlin's the child of an incubus, and that's where he gets his powers from, but I've also heard that Merlin is a child of a dragon, which was the original one first one I heard that my mother told me about, and that's why they hear dragons as if they're talking in plain English, because not everyone can understand them. But I've also heard that the child of an incubus had just happened to, with one, or in their sleep or something. And that's where Merlin gets his powers from. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like I want to do something else on this video, but I can't do too much more this late because I've already been way too loud. Let's see. I've got this here that my mom told me to get this book. I don't know if I believe in all that, but to open locks, to open a lock, obtain the fat from a snake, and the right foot of a raven. Rub the fat onto the raven's foot, then place the foot against any lock to unlock the same without a key. So you have to have one for specific kind of locks. That's kind of interesting. It's a book my mother told me to get, but I don't know how I feel about the little thing. The ancestor of illusion, so an ancestor of disillusionment, an ancestor who shows truth in the shadows and truth in the light, and seeks to abide or get rid of all illusions. A hunter of honor, someone who is very honor-based and a hunter, so is a good person. And a spirit of inspiration, I mean initiation, so a spirit who comes around to initiate or bring start or peace to all these beings. So someone's going to start something or initiate something as well. Okay, so magic. Someone's innate magic. Choose to know the truth because you can open your inner vision or version. You can see through the deception, let the past go, and make room for a better life. Rise up, magic and wisdom are your birthright. Cool. Magic, people born into magic instead of doing weird things for it, which is kind of interesting and cool. But let's see what these other ones are. Okay, so Guardian, an independent being, a master of change, and someone who likes to play. The happiness and the joy of life, transformation, the courage to let go, a spiritual master, an independent healer, and a gentle and wise protector or guardian. I don't know what that takes into this because it don't make no sense, but these 5 people, and then I have something that's going to answer from the book of answers on this. What you have achieved today, you dreamt of yesterday, dreams can come true. So, okay, so these 5 people, some of these 5 people and these 5 stereotypes are going to come together in some weird thing to do with some 5 people, or 5 beings to make something good so that happen, which someone was trying to avert, which someone might know or not know about the truth behind these 5 people and the situations and things, and what actually is and what actually be this or that. Okay, I think I'm doing the same one as last time. I don't even have them shuffling them, but we have someone who is no longer hostile. We have a community. We have a loss, someone who has gone through a loss recently or is at a loss. Someone who is in indecision, and someone who lacks in caring connections. So someone that has a lack of caring connections for them, or someone who lacked in caring connections. Someone who lacks stability, someone who lacks caring connections. Their connections are all superficial. Yeah, honestly, my videos don't seem too insightful anymore. It's not very popular. But, yeah. They're just a bunch of random this or that persons. Okay, so these people are going to find a balance in life. There's going to be a balance in life that they're trying to find without being upset. To do with Gabriel. I'm seeing a blue orb or a blue sphere or a blue gem or a blue scarab. Something they're finding to bring in balance to do with a blue scarab or a blue gem or a blue something is kind of interesting. Okay, so we have two outcomes for the situation. A spirit of family could prevail, so a family working together could prevail as a spirit of the family blesses and embraces them, or else they will release a spirit of destruction. A destructive being a spirit of destruction could get out and have a role to play here. Okay, we have regeneration. Like, the ability to regenerate is regenerative healing is to heal the skin, the flesh, and the physical body, whereas healing is to heal disease, sickness, or illness. If you know the scriptures, you know the truth, you know like what all the abilities and this or that mean. I'm trying to make people cut people who heal someone's sickness so that they can just die bleeding out for some fucking like stolen, oh I'm that bitch thing. A being of greatness and a friend. So someone is going to have a great friend, a friend of greatness. You know, some beings are great, grand and great are different though, because grand means they're someone's grandchild. It's like if a being or an angel was to have a child, that's their child. So they're the first, but then the grand is the grandchild or something. And a friend. An unconditionally loved being for their energy and their truth and their light is going to help someone to achieve a cleanse of energy and reinvigorated purpose. A stem of freshly picked rosemary, so a rosemary stem. A glass of freshly poured water, and leave it in the sunshine in front. To cleanse your energy and reinvigorate your purpose, place a stem of freshly picked rosemary in a glass of freshly poured water and leave it in the sunshine or sunrise. I think it's supposed to be sunrise for an hour before drinking. And again, greatness of being, a greatness of great being. I can't really see any more to read on this, but I guess my weird past videos, pointless enough as they is, don't make sense. Maybe they will one. Again, if I have someone specific to read for, I'm not just doing like a general advice reading about people to try to do this or that. Maybe some people defined for who to read for, whom to read for, if you believe that. Okay. And you need to watch out for... You need to watch out for a delay in something that should be happening. And a unrestrained living. And finally you need to watch out for treason and revolt. So watch out for someone committing treason against you. So watch out for some treason, watch out. A lot of these videos points to someone is committing treason, someone's conspiring against you, trying to make it look like you're all this big and bad, because they don't want you to meet these people and these beings for the perfect outcome. I have myself had that situation with my ex and this or that, although I can't afford for you to meet them. Blah blah blah. Go to your fucking hospital wing, bitch. Okay, thanks, bye.